I just feel like we've been inching closer and closer to being ready to go. I guess you're supposed to, but I know Coach has alluded to it. Coach Cohen talked about the January 13th. I just now feel like the last 2 days have been a reprieve from the weather a little bit, and feel like that the arms turned around a little better, competitive at bats. I think the hitters are getting on time more also, but I think it's helping us choose what pitches to get to. And the two freshman starters kind of made you feel like you had more depth today because they've consistently went out and been competitive, and not just in the ability to make pitches, but also the running game, the fielding their position, their awareness. So felt good about them, and we brought relievers back. This was our first time where I got Holder in twice. I got a lot of these relievers 2 appearances in the same weekend, which is, down the road, that's important.
I know no pitching coach ever has enough innings to keep him happy, but have you had enough working around the weather with the weekends you've had to get enough guys enough work that you're ready to evaluate?
Well, you never want more. I mean, you always want more time as a coach, but we're not going to change the calendar or anything. We're going to get going. We're still going to be patient. I'm not sure you can win the big one next weekend, nor should you try to. So we're going to keep pacing it out, building a pitch count. So you feel like your starters got to 60, maybe opening weekend, you get 70, 75 pitches into it. So it's going to test your bullpen. I think we purposely put the 4 games in there to force you to place all your cards on the table in the 4 games. But that's good. That gives the boys a chance to go out there and pitch and let them make the lineup out instead of all of our guesswork, because instead of super coaching, you get to put all your guys out there and see how they work together and see how deep you really are.
Now that you've had a chance to stretch Woodruff and Braceville, where do you think they are in context of getting ready for the opening weekend?
Yeah, I'm just a wee little pitching coach. I lay all my thoughts out. I hadn't had a chance to do that for Coach Cohen, Coach Mingione, Coach Wells. All of our staff will sit down and look at it. It'll be important to do it fairly early in the week where we can get the guys lined up on their days of lifting, on their throwing regimes, their bullpens. So we need to do it pretty quick. But Brandon's been a favorite. I'll be begging for Brandon to be in there early, and he's worked really hard coming back. It's almost a reward for that. So I'll be rooting for that. I may get vetoed on that, and I think everything else is up for debate. With us using the piggyback system, I don't think it really matters. I keep thinking 2 years ago the SEC Pitcher of the Year piggybacked a guy until we got to SEC play. So we're in it for a marathon. You want to develop as many pitchers as you possibly can. I really hope that we have to throw over 600 innings again this year and find a way to stay strong.
How are Fitz and Brown at this stage?
Well, I thought Fitz really had his best outing yesterday. I think he pitched 4+ innings with 1 hit and really got the ball down. He'd had some hard contact with his fastball. It progressively got better. He got a 3rd inning where his slider really showed up. So I thought everybody was just a little bit sharper. I even told Preston Brown he did a great job. How you scatter 7 hits there. But he got some sink going. He reminds me a lot of Kendall at the same stage, a sinker kind of guy. The more the merrier. I want them to all do good, because our identity from the pitching side is whoever throws the next pitch on the mound is our number 1 pitcher. So I try not to foster that or get them caught up into like you're the number 1 guy. I really think we're only as good as we are our last 3 innings on a Sunday.
How were you 2 freshmen today? What's just a quick impression?
Just they seem to be more mature than their age. Both the leadoff men got on in the 1st inning. And both those guys went about 1-2 to the plate. They picked 6 times. We had 2 pitch outs, and all this before the 1st inning ended. And a lot of times with young guys may have some skill or talent, but they're doing some of the things that more mature, older pitchers do, and they're actually executing in the ball game. So we won't get overconfident or anything. We'll continue to get ready. We'll start learning about our opponent full speed now since it's game week. But just whenever they do those skills like that, you got more confidence that they can have success earlier in their careers instead of having to wait for them to come on.
When you and the staff get together now with this week and start talking about not just who to throw this weekend, but do you start looking at who you maybe want to save or already start thinking about redshirting?
Yeah, I think those are tough decisions. That's why I'm so thankful I'm an assistant coach. That's one of the things that I'm glad John's the head coach in this situation, because that's one of the toughest things I think we have to do. John does a great job of sitting down with all of our guys on our roster at the end of the fall, November 1st to December, and kind of forecasting, what to expect. But those are always tough decisions. But to me, they're always about your development. And you look at this thing as a marathon, not a sprint. So we have to really have to make a decision now, what this team is, what that 35-man roster is, and come together as a ball club now. And the other guys get an opportunity to grow, observe. I think I want all of our guys that wind up in that category to do a case study for us. So, OO count, or find something for them to invest in to grow their game. And I always thought, man, if I could have come to this level as a coach and just sit here and watch the SEC one year, I'd been much more ready than jumping right in the fire. So we'll turn it to a positive. But this is the week that I'm glad I'm not a head coach.
How was Paul Young at this stage?
He threw today. We missed the whole week. We missed the outing last week, and he threw so well the first week. I was so excited, and probably moved his arm a little quicker than his body wanted him to. So we've taken a reprieve. He picked the ball back up today and threw. I think he's a perfect example of it. I think he's such a special pitcher that I think that was a reminder for us not to jump the gun and to go at the same pace. So if he's put back together and he's great, what a shot in the arm, even if it's a month away or something. So we'll keep working it that way. I'm just glad we're not in a position where we're porous and have so many holes that we have to force somebody with their body and their arm when it's not ready. So we'll continue that route, but that was positive for him throwing today.
You mentioned Fitz. It seems like he just consistently develops. Going back to last season and look at the way he went. Is that something you see out of him? It kind of seems like every time you see him, he's a little bit better than the last.
He's always redefining himself. He's such a good energy guy. The statement I make for Trevor Fitz is he's who we are. If we have this deal about us as a group of people and pitchers, he's just who we are, in every sense of the word. He doesn't give a pitch away. He battles. He's an extraordinary teammate. He's everything that I think Mississippi State baseball represents with a special group. And don't try as a coach. You don't try to play favorites, but boy, he's not. He got my heart and a lot of his teammates' heart and our coach's heart. And everybody roots for him. He's a great leader.